Aloha and welcome to another episode of Cape and Cowl Unlimited. I'm your host Alex and I'm joined as always by Steve.
Hello.
Okay, let's get down to business, buddy.
Yes.
What just came out?
That will be the XMen Apocalypse trailer. Yes.
A lot of trailers coming out recently.
Yes.
Feels
indeed.
like everyone's spilling their load before Star Wars is about to roll out.
Yes.
It's with Civil War, Star Trek, Batman vs Superman. Everyone's like, we've got movies coming out too.
It's going to be a great year for films.
Everyone else is just talking about Star Wars. But
Yeah.
X-Men trailer, what did you think?
Well, it's definitely got me excited. First proper look at all the characters. I'm glad that Apocalypse doesn't look like Ivan Ooze anymore. That's definitely a plus.
It's the purple. That was just a really purple day on set. And someone took
so
a photo
purple.
and they were like, he's blue really? And it's like, it's purple. He's purple today. And they put out the one day when the purple light was on.
Yes.
And yeah, they'll never live it down now. They can Photoshop him as blue as they want. But he does look better.
Exactly. It's a lot better now. So, it looks great. You finally see some plots going through it, the plot thickening and
The
things
actual
like that.
plot of the movie.
Actual plots.
Yeah.
And just getting a general vibe of what's going on. So we've got that whole Jean Grey thing at the beginning, sort of getting a vision. I've not really come across that sort of thing before with Jean Grey. I thought she was just more of a telekinesis kind of person.
Yeah, that is interesting. They're going down that whole sort of... I mean, she's had, like, mind powers before, but the vision-y sort of stuff is a bit more... It's a bit more Xavier type, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Even though he's not another one who can have this sort of foresight, I think it's an allusion to Jean Grey's powers are like, one day she'll be the Phoenix. Do you know what I mean? There's this whole thing of the Phoenix.
We've seen go through all of this again. Yes.
Well, I mean, the great thing for me is I was like, whoa. I wasn't whoa as in, I think this is going to be like the best X-Men movie ever. But I think part of that was there's so many new faces.
Yes.
There's new actors playing familiar faces, you know, and pretty underutilized characters in a sense of the core X-Men, Cyclops, Storm.
If we're going for the
Jean,
original trilogy, yes, they're very much background characters.
They've been pretty, it's been the Wolverine show for a long time, and
Wolverine and friends
for good reason. For good reason.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman's awesome as Wolverine, and it's going to be weird seeing him go, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
But what's got me excited and a little bit cautious is the new faces. I like that, I'm a huge Cyclops fan, and I was really bummed out when the guy didn't turn up for 3 movies, but they put his face on all the posters. I mean, X-Men: The Last Stand, he's there in his costume, looking cool. They gave him like a cool little centre parting.
Yeah.
If that's ever cool. But he was on the poster and I was like, yeah, man, it's the Phoenix, Jean Grey. Finally, we're going to get that classic storyline. Cyclops is holding her on the cover with the optic blast.
Yeah.
Dead in the first 5 minutes.
There we go.
Dead. And not even like Xavier coming back dead. Or Jean Grey might come back dead. Dead.
No, just flat out.
Dead. They didn't even write anything on his gravestone. I think it was just an X. With nothing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but I digress. I'm looking forward to seeing that younger version, that what I think everyone thought they were getting in First Class when that movie was announced, the Matthew Vaughn one. I think everyone thought, this is it, man. We're gonna get Angel, we're gonna get Iceman, we're gonna get that storyline of those first X-Men and their sort of teenage turmoil. So I feel like we're getting that now, but it's cool, man. I mean, what did you make of the Four Horsemen?
Four Horsemen. It's an intriguing idea. It's a shame. I mean, if you readers of the comics will remember that Wolverine was actually one of the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. I kind of find it a bit weird that Storm's one of them. But then again, we might see a deeper side of the character there. Magneto, that was kind of a foregone conclusion, to be honest. I think the one that I'm looking forward to the most, without a doubt, has to be Archangel.
Yep.
I mean, obviously, Psylocke looks brilliant as well, to be honest. She looks like she just cut straight out of the 80s comics, especially with her get-up. But
Definitely.
For me, Archangel was the outstanding favourite there. That swooping shot that you see of him just swooping up and firing his arrow blade feather things, whatever.
Dude,
that was incredibly
And he
thought-provoking
shoots the arrow blades. They come
Yeah.
out of his wings. Yeah,
It's like it's just literally a flick of the wing.
I like it.
Boom.
I like
Death.
that because it is a case of if he just flies, he's not
Well,
gonna. Do you know what I mean?
Kind of
Like,
what
I
he
know
did in
he's-
X3, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So-
well, I mean, that's the thing as well. I mean, I know Days of Future Past is like retconned
yeah.
everything, so to a certain extent, you can kind of say, oh, X-Men 1 and 2 could probably still happen, but even
Well, they retconned it, but do you reckon it would be to the extent that he's already cut off his wings? Because obviously he's got
No,
mechanical wings, and Angel
I
did lose them before.
I think the simplified reason that Days of Future Past happened was they needed to get this epic, awesome. X-Men's always been my favourite Marvel comic. Epic freaking universe up to the standards of the other superhero movies, because they were big films before,
Yeah.
you know, but they weren't doing Spider-Man numbers even back in the day.
No.
You know, Spider-Man was hitting 800 and then eventually going up to the 900 billion mark.
Yeah.
Not 900 million, up to the sort of... It was getting close to that billion mark,
Yep.
but it wasn't doing those kind of numbers. You know, it was... I think the biggest one was X-Men 3, like nearly 500 worldwide.
Yeah.
Whereas Days of Future Past finally got it up to, you know, those high-end Captain America numbers, Winter Soldier, you know, like 700s and above. So what they also needed to do was make it a bit more recognisable, because as cool as First Class was, the cover was like... What? Who are these guys? You know what I mean? This is before Jennifer Lawrence had won
This
her
isn't
Oscar.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, exactly. It was like it's kind of freaky. It was like a bad Photoshop sort of catwalk. They were all like wearing these yellow sort of Thunderbirds outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just wanted to get it back to something that's recognisable. Point I'm trying to make is now they've got the grounds to go on and start again, basically.
Yes.
They can say, the crap that happened in X-Men 3.
Just...
Because
sweep
you know
it
it's a
up.
bad movie, and what people forget about the X-Men films, it's kind of given her a bit of a write-off because the timeline's all over the place. Don't think about that.
Well, the good thing I find about these new films is that it seems like Fox has taken a bit of more of a backseat. They were way more interested in just selling toys and things like that. And they just thought nobody knows who these X-Men are. They just know who Wolverine is. They went straight for the most popular character, and it just became Wolverine and these other guys.
Yeah.
I can
And then give
understand
him his
that.
own movie, and then another one.
Yeah, well, the less we'll say about that, the better. The CGI clause, no. So, yeah, the fact that they've taken a bit more of a step back is definitely a positive sort of thing. It's definitely rejuvenated the franchise. Like I say, the first two films are incredibly strong from the new trilogy.
Oh, yeah.
And I am so looking forward to this third one. Just with all the new cast and everything like that, it just seems like the characters have got just a whole rejuvenation of character.
Definitely, and this is kind of like, as you say, 20th Century Fox didn't really give a toss, to be honest, which sort of X-Men were going to feature. It was kind of like, what power has he got? Is that going to look cool? You know, is it going to look good? Is it a good effect?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And a problem with those earlier films is there was a real... Like, it just felt the power, the actual fights between the X-Men were horribly mismatched. You know, you had some really random sort of pair-ups where you just thought, you know, Storm fighting Toad, that was a prime example of a fight that no one cared about. You know, whereas like Wolverine versus Mystique was pretty sweet, you know. You know, they figured Wolverine versus anyone was pretty sweet. So Wolverine kind of did fight everyone on his own at points. But yeah, they've got to that point where they're like, oh, okay, so there's a reason you've got this core team of, you know, Cyclops and Beast and Storm, and there's a reason those have been the go-to guys. Whatever X-Men comic you're reading, there's at least two of those in the lineup, you know?
Yeah.
And unless you're going out there and you're, you know, reading their 13th title, you know, because at one point there was like 50 X-Men books, I swear.
Yeah.
It's just impossible to keep up with all of them. But it looks like they finally realised that, okay, these are the guys going forward. I know this might be a culmination of, you know, the Simon Kinberg sort of trilogy that we've got, this new sort of these three movies since the Wolverine. But it looks like it's laying the groundwork for maybe a retelling of those first movies somewhere down the line.
Maybe. I hope they don't go down the same sort of path especially with like things like the Phoenix. I personally would like to see the Phoenix Force
in space
rather than just her be some kind of psycho. That for me would be amazing, to be honest. So, but they're not afraid of doing all these, like, you know, these blasts and stuff like that, and sort of magic-y sort of seeming mutants and stuff. So why not? Marvel's done it before. They've given us a talking raccoon. So I don't see why it's beyond the realms.
That's Marvel, man. This is 20th Century Fox, man.
True.
It's going to be intense. It's going to be intense. But okay, back to the trailer though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously, like, just freaking... There was a lot to digest in that. Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse.
Yes.
I mean,
finally,
his power set. I mean, it's pretty varied. How do you think that's going to come across on?
It looks kind of trippy, to be honest. I mean, there's that one scene where he's just sort of going, you know, got someone pinned down and he's like getting really massive.
Is that like he was doing it to Xavier? There's a sequence in the trailer. He's got his hand and he's getting bigger, and that is straight out of the comics, you know. And I'm just like, he's always this dude who can just sort of do anything.
Well, he can quite literally do anything. Like we saw at the end of Days of Future Past, you see him just holding his hands up and he's building pyramids.
There you go, man.
So
that's what you do though. You build pyramids.
And why not? And it just seems very intriguing. I mean, it does make you wonder how the hell they're going to beat someone like that.
Yeah. I mean, we have the Xavier transformation teased at the end of the trailer. You know, we see his eyes going black as well. You know, I've never felt power like this before.
Yes.
You know, and it's just like,
That sounds quite ominous. I mean, I'm kind of intrigued by this because I'm one of these people that kind of want to see an Onslaught sort of character. Mm-hmm. That, for me, seemed sort of a subtle hint towards that. Maybe something along the line of, you know, he's capable of going super psychotic. Yeah. He is incredibly powerful after all. He can control people's minds and everything like that. What's to stop him from suddenly just going too far with it? So maybe they've unlocked that kind of thing. It's very interesting to see, obviously, the bald Xavier right at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Looking very Patrick Stewart. You know, it's looking sweet, man. It's looking sweet. It's looking good as well, because you wonder, is that something that happens right at the end of the movie, or are we going to see, you know, rejuvenated Xavier? Is he going to succumb at first to Apocalypse and then comes back, you know, bald and super improved or whatever to take him down? Because as much as, you know, you've got...
This is like the Batman rising out of the prison sort of thing.
Even if you've got the Four Horsemen being defeated and then, you know, coming to their senses, you know, we don't know to what extent Magneto agrees with anything, any of these characters. You're assuming Apocalypse is influencing them in some way. Yeah, they wouldn't be, you know, like in the comics, they'd be under some kind of mind control sort of thing. I don't think that it's going to be like an ideological sort of agreement.
We see something a bit of that anyway. There's a definite scene where there's some sort of Cerebro looking sort of scene where you can see all these people flying past Apocalypse. Now, whether he's actually in Cerebro or whether he's literally able to do this himself, is another thing. But he could well be just mind wiping these people just to do his bidding. I certainly would think that's possible.
Hopefully they can maintain that as interesting, because if you've got actors like Michael Fassbender, you know, you don't want to see him going, you know, doing a Hawkeye in the Avengers, yes, master. You know, so hopefully there's a bit more to it than that, and there's a bit of conflict, because of course, you know, we don't know, but you do know Storm's going to end up on the side of the X-Men, you know, so this ain't going to wash for very long, you know, unless they're just like, boom, that's the end, guys, which I highly doubt. Highly doubt that for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just excited, as I say, I want to see these young guys again. Plus, some of the stars, some of the standout mutants from the previous movies, like Evan Peters is returning as Quicksilver.
Yes.
And he was awesome in Days of Future Past. Almost so awesome they had to conveniently leave him out for the finale, because he could have just solved all the problems by running really fast before anything happened.
Very short film, if that's the case.
Exactly. You know, and I mean, of course, Jennifer Lawrence is back. This is her final appearance as Mystique.
Yes.
Which, it's a bit interesting. Like when you're talking about the finish of this trilogy,
Yeah.
who's going to be the face to carry this forward? Because Jennifer Lawrence is huge. You know, she's Hunger Games, X-Men, Oscar winner.
Yeah.
She's just got so much clout. That's evident in the fact that she's not even wearing the makeup anymore. It looks like that, and it doesn't look like that's a story-driven decision. It would be pretty. I don't know what the explanation is going to be for that. It looks to be like, I don't want to spend 8 hours 12 hours or whatever in a makeup chair.
True.
I'd
been some hostile renegotiations there.
Yeah, looking at it objectively, not knowing too much about, I've never sat there naked and had my body painted and stuff. Is that something I'd be into? I'm not sure, but it would be.
Maybe a year down the line.
You can understand, you're filming these movies for like 6 months at a time, and every day you've got to get in that blue chair. It was be blue by the end.
Might be.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm wondering if they're going to explain that in the film. Is it going to be a decision? We were talking earlier about, is it going to be that she's so recognised from the final events of Days of Future Past, where the whole world watched her save, the president and all of that sort of stuff.
She could be just incognito all the time.
Yeah, she's a shapeshifter, but I mean, there's scenes where she's with the X-Men, and that's when you're thinking, why wouldn't you just be normal? So it would be something to see, but I'm definitely just looking forward to a return to form. A return to this current form that we're on. I'd be devastated to get another dip in quality in the third movie like we got before.
Another background Cyclops maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, well, anything like that. Because, I mean, let's not forget, X-Men Last Stand went big action, like this one's going now.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. There were some cool sequences, like Magneto hiking up the Golden Gate Bridge, but it lost a bit of heart that those first two movies had. And it just became a bit of a popcorn flick, which the first two weren't,
Yeah.
So what I'm hoping is that Bryan Singer, he's got the wherewithal to know he knows
the franchise. He knows the franchise a lot better than
some of those shots though. They're huge. You don't know if some of those are visions of like the devastation that could come.
Yep.
I'm hoping we see some of it, like legit. Like that was pretty awesome.
Well, the whole New York scene seemed pretty intense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah.
And of course, Apocalypse's end game is always to sort of like mold the planet in his own image, right?
That's what they say. He wants to build a better one.
Exactly. So he's literally like, he's doing a Man of Steel job. He's got his world machines in different places. They're going at it from different angles. Yeah, the pyramids, they sort of transform, don't they? We've seen it in past iterations. I mean, I've got a lot of love for the X-Men Evolution cartoon. Did you ever watch that?
Yep.
Love that show, man. And as a Cyclops fan,
you've probably got the theme tune going on in your head right now. Now that we mentioned it.
And of course, the 90s one as well. That was awesome. But I'm a little bit older, so I was sort of at the tail end of that. I picked up X-Men Evolution when that was sort of coming out because I was like 11 or whatever. But that had a great Apocalypse finale.
Yeah.
Where it was so good. Magneto was involved. I think Storm was... No, Storm wasn't one of them, but
no,
it was awesome, man. So I'm just excited. They've finally got an out-of-out villain. There's always been a bit of a difference in, who's the baddie in this one? It's kind of Magneto all the time in different shapes and forms. It looks like we're finally going to get a comic book X-Men movie.
Yeah. In
a sense of, not that we haven't had something like that before, but out and out, balls to the walls. Bryan Singer's like, this is my last freaking X-Men movie, Yeah. Why not lay the groundwork, and it's going to be awesome. So, definitely going to see that one.
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to it. So, let us know what you think. Are you excited for the X-Men Apocalypse? Are you looking forward to where the franchise is heading next? Is Wolverine going to roll up? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this video, you want to find out more about us, like and subscribe. You know the deal. You know where we're going with this. If you want to find out even more about how you can sign up and keep involved with us, get updates and join our mailing list, check out the bio and description below, and for all the up-to-date news on everything superhero and all that's awesome in between, check out caveandcow.co.uk. Alright, see you guys later. Bye-bye.